apologies for not being connected to the show at 10. Listeners, we are live on air, reaching out to all our listeners through the airwaves at Inspire FM 105.1 FM. The show is also streaming as an audio on the Inspire FM Facebook page, where you can give the show a thumbs up, or you must give the show a thumbs up, and you can also share your thoughts on today's topic. I am also taking in WhatsApp and text messages on the studio number 07779 481 822. Now, first, before I begin in today's show's topic, I just want to take the opportunity to thank all the lovely women that I reached out to make this show a show. They've taken the time out to share their journey, and it's been really lovely reading some of the things that women have done to ensure that they are nurturing their well-being. So today's topic is all about mental well-being and addressing our body needs. And I guess the big question is how? How can we address our needs? And more importantly, how can we stay consistent with it? I think in the last couple of weeks, I have had those mental moments where I just feel overwhelmed with what's going on around me, and there's things that are in our control and there's things that are just beyond our control. And I think trying to establish that, what we can control, the tangible things, and the things that are just beyond our control, and we just have to accept that these are things that are going to be, it's the qadr of Allah, and we are just going to embrace them and move on. And I think for me, that's one of the most important things, really, trying to establish what we have control over and what we don't have control over. So today's show's really stemmed off from me having these momentary breakdown moments where I've just felt overwhelmed with things, and then taking a step back and addressing what I can control, what I can do, but also speaking to other women in the community. It's so reassuring to hear that I'm not on my own, and many people are feeling the same madness, the same not being able to control our emotions and not being able to control what's going on in front of us as well. We've had in my house A-levels and GCSEs, and bless my children, they have worked so hard, and they've kept their strength and energy and motivation, alhamdulillah. And I think in a corner I have been crumbling. It's hard as a parent because, we've been there, done that, and we just want the best for our children. But sometimes we have to step out of that circle and realize that, they are doing their part, they are doing what they can, and the rest is out of our control, and we have to just work with it that way. So yes, I spoke to a real dear friend who has a really poorly child, and she's been taking this child to the hospital for weekly appointments, a couple of times a week. And it was only until the doctor turned around and said to her, I'm going to stop the appointments for your child because she's okay, but you're not. You are mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and you need to take time out. So she's switched off from all social media platforms and her phone, and she's taking that time out to address her own needs because it's just been very overwhelming for her. So this show is for her. It's for anyone out there that's feeling that they are just mentally and physically exhausted and don't know what to do. I've had some lovely messages come through from many women across the country, actually, who have been sharing their tips and advice as to how they nurture their well-being. So sit back, grab a coffee and take some mental notes, because today's show will be me sharing all these wonderful tips. Now, I've got some that are happy to share their names and some that will be anonymous, but it's not who's shared the message, it's what they're saying that's important. So do sit back, and again, listeners, if you have anything you'd like to share or that you've changed in your life to ensure that you're nurturing your well-being, please do message into the studio number 07779 481 822. I would love to hear from you, and I'm sure what you are doing would not only benefit yourself, but many other women that are tuned in this morning as well. Now, the first one is from a sister called Sanya. Assalamu alaikum, sister. I hope you are well. This is such a lovely topic. I've never really delved into this as much as I do now. My mental health does and can suffer, and to help me, I really enjoy spending time with myself. As it sounds, I know it sounds silly, but I just love having a few hours to myself where I can sit with a cup of tea and do and think of nothing at all. My mind needs to switch off. My husband normally takes our daughter out for a few hours, and it helps a lot. It's really important to allow yourself to reset. Working in a setting for children that suffer with mental health and anxiety has made me more aware and heightened my own anxieties, and also made me aware of what is required to help my mind and readjust and settle again. We forget the real luxuries in life are very simple, and money can't buy those. Thank you so much. And absolutely, taking that time out for yourself is paramount. It's so important. And it's important to switch off. I think my difficulty with that is taking the time off and then not looking around my surroundings, because it's often not very tidy. But yes, it's just sitting down and having that time to yourself. You deserve it. The next one is anonymous one from a sister that's local. Walking in the early hours benefits me, both my body and mind. The crisp morning air, free from the distractions of daily noise, provides a peaceful setting to clear my thoughts. Physically, it kickstarts my day and my metabolism, improves my circulation, and sets a positive tone for the day. Exposure to the soft light helps regulate my body's natural sleep cycle, reinforcing a healthy rhythm. Beyond the physical perks, morning walks are deeply therapeutic, giving me the space to reflect, plan, or simply appreciate the beauty of a new day. The streets and parks are quieter, allowing me to kind of meditate that reduces stress and enhances mental clarity. Plus, it fosters a sense of discipline, setting the tone for productivity and focus throughout the day. If you've tried morning walks, you are likely to know that the refreshing energy it brings. If not, maybe it's time to give it a go. I can peacefully also do my Vico and catch up with those loved ones or friends in this time. She says she calls family who live abroad, so she gets to tick off those her to-do list with all those phone calls that she needs to make. And what a wonderful way of doing that, taking that time out, especially, in certain countries, time zone changes, and having that time to do, it's really good to do, catching up with friends like that. The next message is from Aya. Aya is a holistic therapeutic coach, looking at women's hormonal balances, especially looking at the menopause and perimenopause women. Assalamu alaikum, sister. I've been thinking about which part to talk about, as I mainly focus on women that are 40 plus. So I thought I would share a few tips on sleep and how women can improve changes through menopause. Improving sleep during menopause can be challenged, but it is possible with the right strategies. Hormonal changes, especially declining estrogen and progesterone, can lead to hot flushes, night sweats, anxiety, and frequent waking. Here's how menopausal women can improve sleep naturally and medically. So create a sleep-friendly environment. So cool your bedroom. Ideal temperature is around 16 to 19 degrees, and use breathable bedding and moisture-wicking nightwear. So anything that's cotton-based is really good. Block night and noise. Use blackout curtains, earplugs, or a white noise machine. Consistent schedule. Go to bed and wake up at the same time daily, even on weekends. Manage your lifestyle habits, limit the amount of caffeine that you are taking. And this includes some teas as well. So, keep an eye out on how much caffeine you are actually taking, especially in the late or early evening, late afternoon or early evening. Exercise daily, and this could be walking, stretching, seated fitness, wall Pilates, something that's consistent and doable for yourselves. Avoid large meals at night. These can trigger indigestion and night sweats. A warm, not hot bath can before bed can reduce core temperature after and help you fall asleep faster. Consider supplements and remedies. Melatonin, sleep hormone, that is the sleep hormone that declines with age. So pistachios are a natural source of melatonin. So get some pistachios in. Magnesium, this helps with muscle relaxation and can ease insomnia. Bananas, dried apricots, for example, are a good natural source of magnesium. Um, um, Valerian root or chamomile, natural calming herbs. Again, check with your doctor before using any of these herbal medicines. You can use oils, lavender oils, to help ease anxiety and promote a better sleep. How to manage the hot flashes and night sweats, dress in layers and use less layers, and use a cooling pillow or a fan. Some women benefit from black, it's a herbal tea, so there's different types of herbal teas that women can benefit from. So avoid triggers like spicy foods near bedtime. I hope this all helps, inshallah. Thank you so much, Sister Aya. There are some fantastic things there. I think sleep is one of those really difficult ones. And the really big take home message for me there is to go to bed at the same time and wake up the same time daily, even on the weekends, because having that consistent sleep pattern, and makes your body adjust, and it stops making you feel exhausted because you've clocked on and realized that your body only requires 7 to 8 hours sleep, and you're okay with that. And it should be something that we are consistent with even on the weekends. So that's really lovely for you to share there. Martina, in reply to your message about women's health, for me, it's going to bed with gratitude and waking up with purpose. These are my foundations, and I can build on this and other important parts of my well-being. But the basics is to going to sleep with gratitude and waking up with purpose. How lovely is that, Martina? Thank you so much for sharing that. Going to sleep with gratitude, I think I speak for myself here, we tend to focus on, I'm quite a pessimist, I've realised. I do focus on the things that are challenging, or this is not working out right. How can I fix it? Rather than focusing on the things that, oh, actually, this happened today. I was able to do this today. I was able to achieve this, and being grateful for what you did do and what did come your way, and looking at the positive sides and going to sleep. And I think doing that, Martina, it probably helps you sleep better because you're going to sleep with less anxiety, knowing that you don't have all these things that you need to get through. I think, when you know that, oh, I didn't get through this, or that didn't happen, or I've got to deal with this, or I need to do this. When you give yourself to-do lists before going to sleep, you're kind of making yourself anxious, and it's not really helping you get sleep. So yeah, I think focusing on the things that did happen, and being grateful for the things that did happen is a much better way to go to sleep and promote a more positive sleep. The next message is from Sister Neelum. This is so amazing, Neelum. Allah Mubarak. I thought I'd share my tips. The first one is gratitude journaling every morning. This helps me to remember what I have to be grateful for and sets my mood to focus on the positive. Taking out days for myself with my friends or my sisters to just be kid free. even sometimes just to be alone in a library to do things at my own pace without having the pressure of home things to do or just looking after the kids. So that's Anila's message there. Thank you so much, Anila. That was, oh no, sorry, I've got my notes all mixed up there. Anila has said she has, no, that's it. I've got all my notes mixed up there. Anila said she's done those things of taking the time out and being around her children and not around her children and taking time out to be with her friends and her sisters. And this has worked for her. Prioritizing that time for herself has helped. As mothers, we often want to do things but never get round to it. So she started to do things, and she said walk every evening around nature as well. Thank you so much, Sister Anila, for your message. And I do apologise that my notes are a bit everywhere there. I should have numbered some of these. Um, uh, the next one is from a lady called Hanit, who is outside of London, actually. She says, thank you so much for hosting a show like this. I think it's fantastic that you've organised this. I have made so many changes since her birthday, which was in March. She's started to introduce more walks out in the open, more natural vitamins to help with perimenopause symptoms like broken sleep and brain fog. She's introduced morning juice to help with her bloating. And one that's really worked for her is boiling fresh lemon, cinnamon, ginger, and chia seeds with a bit of honey. And that's really worked for her to have first thing in the morning to help with her bloating. And all of those are fantastic ingredients as well. You know, lemon is fantastic for it's an antidiuretic, so if you are bloated or you are retaining a lot of water, it's really good to help flush some of that out, as well as cinnamon, which is really good at speeding up metabolism, and ginger. So, you know, these anything that is causing any bloatingness or indigestion, cinnamon and ginger are really good for that. And chia seeds, when put in water, they double in their size. So they are really good. They are fibrous. So, you know, if you were not having regular bowel movements, chia seeds is really good for this because of the fiber that it contains. But it's also really filling. So once you add chia seeds that have expanded in water to any of your food, it will make you feel fuller and more content with what you've eaten and consumed rather than feeling like you need to go back for second helpings. So chia seeds is really good for helping you feel quite full. And honey, of course, you know, it has the honey that we have with shafar, the honey that we have that obviously, again, sweetens our food, but it's the most best form of sugar that we can have. And I'm not sure, listeners, if you're aware of this, but having local honey, if you suffer from hay fever or any allergies, local honey is the best to have because it really helps reduce the hay fever symptoms because it's the pollen that you are locally connected to and the pollen that's around you as well. So it's really beneficial to try and invest in some local honey and have that as well. She also exercises health for her mental health, and she really enjoys Pilates. So she hopes that she's helped some listeners out there with some of her tips. I know, Hanit, that your morning juice has definitely been a big hit. I'm really going to make that actually and have some of that in the mornings. They're all really good ingredients and they all have fantastic health benefits. The next one is from Kay. I started walking to get some air and space and make private calls with my sisters. Half an hour turned to hours, and then I started to feel so much better. My mood changed, and that allowed me to do a bit more. I joined the most gentle exercise group, Pilates. It was very slow paced and gentle and fixed my core and more so my mood. After a year or so, I left the group and joined the gym, and now I can run and do lots of strength training and weights too. Bonus is I have lost a lot of weight too. Okay, thank you so much. And I love the way that you um, didn't go in headstrong of I'm going to go and do the gym. You introduced Pilates, did something low, and it increased your core and strength, and then went on to big exercises. So thank you so much. Listeners, we are now heading over to a short commercial break. If you do have any top tips that you'd like to share, please do send them into the studio number. But for now, use this time to go refill your brew or whatever it is that you're having with me this morning, and join me after a short commercial break. Assalamu alaikum.
This program will continue after the break. Continue listening to Inspire FM. Inspire FM.
Inspire 105.1 FM.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Omar Regan.
This is Brother Bona Muhammad.
This is Nabil Abdul Rashid.
This is Naeem Raza.
My name is Sheikh Hafs Al Ghazi.
My name is Julie Siddiqui.
This is Moses the Comic.
This is your brother Raheem Jung.
This is Preacher Maz.
This is Rizwan Hussein.
This is Baba Ali.
This is Fatih Safaragich.
This is Naveed Aziz, and you are listening to the best radio station in Luton, Inspire FM.
Preparing for exam season with Inspire FM. Don't be distracted by your surroundings and other people around you. Don't use your phone a lot and try to avoid social media. This can draw you away from studying. For more exam tips, stay tuned to Inspire 105.1 FM.
Greystone Solicitors are committed to protecting your rights and fighting your corner to ensure you get the best possible results. Specialising in immigration matters, employment issues, family matters, personal injury, medical negligence, civil litigation and housing. Need help with your immigration problem? Greystone Solicitors provide free immigration drop-in clinics every Friday. Call Greystone Solicitors today on 01582 343 453 or visit us at 275 Dunstable Road, Luton, LU4 8BS, and begin your journey towards justice today.
Biscott Pharmacy, your one-stop health and beauty pharmacy in Luton, stockist of over 8,000 health and beauty products. At Biscott Pharmacy, we offer a range of services, including health advice and repeat prescriptions for collection and delivery to your home. We also offer a Hajj and Umrah vaccination. Come in and see us and ask about our stop smoking service. We're open 7 days a week till late, including bank holidays. Biscott Pharmacy, 157A Biscott Road, Luton. Call 457709.
Did you know that all of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam's children died before him except for his daughter Fatima radiallahu anha?
Have you heard? Have you heard the exciting news?
What exciting news is that?
To celebrate their 60th anniversary, Ambala Sweets are launching their Dubai Chocolate Barfi from Saturday 24th of May.
So we can visit the Ambala Sweets store at 211 Dunstable Road in Luton and now buy Dubai Chocolate Barfi.
Yes, it'll be available from Saturday 24th of May and so much more.
That's fantastic. Don't miss out. Dubai Chocolate Barfi and many more tasty sweet treats at Ambala, Dunstable Road in Luton and all Ambala stores.
Hi, I'm Amira and I'm a student at Barnfield College. I attended a Barnfield Open Day last year because I was interested in creating online content and I wanted to find out more about the media courses. The tutors and students were so passionate and I got to see the amazing new campus and state-of-the-art facilities. Like me, you can find the course for you at Barnfield College's Summer Open Day on the 14th of June. Visit barnfield.ac.uk to book your open day.
Oh, Hillary, I was going to use newspaper display advertising.
But
it costs £10 per inch.
And that's too expensive?
Oh, indeed it is. I want to sell a 10-foot ladder.
Oh, Roger, invest in an ear-catching advertising campaign on this radio station instead. It's a great way to tell people about your products and service.
For details, click on inspirefm.org, then advertise.
From the studios of Inspire FM, the time is now 10:30.
Good morning and assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Mother's Planet. It's Friday, 13th of June, and the time has now just gone 10:30. Earlier in the show, I was reading out messages shared by lovely ladies across the country, all about nurturing our mental well-being. A topic that I felt was imperative and very important to discuss because I don't think we take enough time out. And it was only when I had a block out in the week a couple of weeks ago where I just realised that everything was just coming towards me, and I felt very overwhelmed. And it's about letting go of those things that you have control on, and working on the things that you can control, and letting go of the things that you don't have control on. Some very lovely messages that I have shared so far this morning from ladies across the country who have given us some fabulous tips and shared their own journey about how they have changed from doing what they didn't do and now having embraced that. The last one was from a lovely lady called Kay, who was a slow walker, just went out for half an hour walks, catch up with their sisters on the phone and have conversations that didn't need to be had at home, to now running at the gym. So, she's obviously built that strength. So, it's so inspirational to read and hear this. The next one is from a lady called Nyla in London. Mental well-being is being kept away from the husband and children, hide at work. Joking aside, recently I have felt at ease during the Hajj times and when reciting the Quran. This was especially during Ramadan, and I have kept consistent with trying to read the Quran on a daily basis. I feel refreshed and at ease, and the day seems to go much more smoothly, alhamdulillah. Other times I've liked to go out for walks and just trying to do more outdoor activities, even like gardening. She's not very green fingered, she says, but she's really embraced gardening. And that's really important as well, being in touch with nature, taking that time out and being in touch with nature. The next one is from a local sister. She has jotted down all the things that she feels that we should all be in making part of our life. And she said, if you can't do all, at least pick a handful and try and do these and be consistent. So coffee with friends or friend, make a phone call, and that could be, with somebody that you haven't spoken to for a while. Put on a favorite outfit and make yourself feel good. Go out for a walk out in the open in the fresh air. Baking or cooking. I do find that actually baking is really therapeutic for myself. I love baking, and it's a win-win really, because I bake and the kids eat and they are happy with the treats. So for me, it's my therapy. I put it all out. I create whatever I need to create with my baking, and the kids get to eat it. So it's a win-win. Gardening, makeup, personal grooming, taking the time out to make yourself look and feel good. Exercise, taking showers just before bed to help yourselves cool down so that you can go to sleep with easy. Be consistent with your salah, read the Quran, and listen to talks that are beneficial, like Islamic talks. Find, I know Yasmin Mujahid is one of my favorite, finding someone that has really good inspirational talks and be consistent and listen to them. Thank you so much to the sister for sharing some of those really really good points there about what we can do to try and promote our, and they're all realistic activities. I didn't read any of those and think, oh, I wouldn't be able to do that, wouldn't be able to do that. Taking time out, and personal grooming was one that really struck out to me, that taking time out to make yourself feel good, oiling your hair, letting your, putting a face back on, and, taking time out to really look after yourself as well. The next one is from a lady called Josephina. Something that's been really helpful for my well-being lately is creating firmer boundaries around the use of a phone, especially in the evenings. I aim to log off by 9 p.m. and instead of doing looking through my phone and scrolling, instead I do something calming like reading, playing the piano, or spending some quality time with the family. Another small but grounding habit I have added is taking short walks, even just 10 to 15 minutes. It's really helped clear my mind. Now, I challenged her on this because I said, do you walk alone or do you walk with somebody? And she said that often she walks with her husband because they both work from home, so they can have that lunch break together where they'll just have a little chat. But she much prefers the walks on her own because it just helps her clear her head. And I said, how can you clear your head when you are on your own? I always like to walk with someone so I can just offload and vent and, just feel like I can just say what I need to say. And I always pick who I'm taking with me because I know that whoever I share this with is not going to be judgmental, throw it back in my face. They'll just listen and then talk about something completely off topic. So it's just giving me the chance to just let off some steam. And she said that she puts on some earpods and she puts on in transparency mode so she can still hear her surroundings, but just either has a talk that she likes listening to or plays some music and just walks, and it takes away those thoughts. She doesn't feel like she's thinking. She feels like she's just actually observing her environment and taking in what's around her and seeing other things. And that in itself busies her, so she doesn't get drawn into her thoughts and these voices in her head of telling her about all these things that she should be thinking about. So that was a really good tip there, just putting it in transparency mode so that you can still hear your surroundings. Because that's one of the things that always worries me when I've had headphones or pods on, that I won't be able to hear what's around me, and there's safety issues around that. But there's a mode that you can put on where you can still hear your surroundings. This is from a local sister. Limit the time with demanding relatives. Stay busy in another room if they are in your house. Arrange coffee with friends away from the home, so no need to spend 2 hours of prep in the house. You don't need to turn your house into a showroom before every visit. Twice a week, a 40-minute walk with one child, and then proper conversations can happen. Now, this sister has shared a lot here, actually. Firstly, about, we all have families that we have commitments with, but we have some that can be a bit overwhelming. And it's just keeping yourself busy, being respectful and having all the things that you need to have out ready set, and then just giving yourself that space to just move away from it and not feel like you need to be a doormat or you need to be running around circles. You've done your part. Now everyone can self-cater and get on with things. So taking that time out in another room, fantastic, love it. Having coffee with friends away from the home, so you don't have to prepare and clean your home. Another point, which is brilliant, because we do get bogged down like that. You have this thought about, let's catch up with a friend, let's have a coffee at my home. And then you think, oh, my house is upside down. And you have this obligation to just clean up, just to make it look like, there's nobody that lives there. So it's really good. Yes, take them away, go away. There is so many places outside now that you can go and enjoy. And that the last point I really do love, especially being a mum with mashallah 6 children, taking a child with you for a walk and allowing them to speak, and you just giving them that opportunity to say what they wanted to say. I've always felt that I needed to focus on me, and both you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. You are having that quality time with that child where they have got that space to offload and tell you what they're feeling, and you're outside, you're walking, you're taking in the fresh air, and you're doing something that's not involving being tied to the kitchen sink. You are outside and enjoying that time, and your child is with you as well. So thank you so much. Some really good tips there. Another local sister says, I like to go for walks, doing exercise with weights now, riding a bike and swimming. I really love swimming, and not being very confident in the water, and then just having a few lessons of just getting confident in the water to be able to know that I'm not going to drown and my body can actually float, has really increased my confidence to be in water and not worry about, I'm going to sink. So, if you haven't given yourself the exposure to a swimming pool, go. There are lots of female-only classes as well locally available, so do that. Recently, I started writing a journal at the end of every night, just before going to bed, just about my thoughts and feeling for that day. Although I have heard of the benefits of doing this, actually doing it is totally different ballgame. It's like you take everything from your mind and pack it into your journal. It's really helped me immensely during a challenging time in my life. I have prioritized time out for me, and as mothers, we often don't get to do this. But I have started to do this, and I even enjoy going for walks around nature. That's fantastic. It's one thing to say journal, write down your thoughts, or have the gratitude where you're just focusing on the positives. But sometimes it's really hard to ignore the things that you know that are pending, the things that you know that have eaten you up during the day, and and putting it down to paper. It's all talk. We know that journaling has its benefits, and she said that actually doing it is a totally different ball game for herself, and it's really helped her through this very challenging time of her life. So thank you again for sharing that. And the next one is from Jutsna, which is a local sister who does lots of workshops to support women. And she said, to all those ladies who are exhausted, you're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you've been strong for so long and no one noticed the weight you carry. Take some time out to reflect on things that really matter and cut out all the noise. Remember, you matter and nothing is worth losing your peace and sanity over. Couldn't have summed that up or said it any better, Jutsna. Thank you so much for that. Brilliant message there. And yes, you're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you've just taken on so much. And I think that's, that when I read that, it made me feel so good because over the last few weeks, I have felt that I've been piling on things myself. It's self-inflicted pain that I've been giving myself, but it's those to-do thing tasks, and it's the task of I'll take that on, I'll just do it. It's easier if I do it and not actually letting go of things. The next one, I'm a working mum at the age of 41, and it's a phenomenon that the average Muslim mum in Luton is juggling many things, including work, tarbiyah for their children, elderly parents, and trying to, in this, fit in self-care. Managing a busy schedule has its tolls on our body and mind, and I have realized that women in my age group are less open about the struggles and respond with the generic "all is good, alhamdulillah." I understand there is a time and place, and you need to have a close relationship with the ones you can open up to. Sadly, we're in a generation of Muslim women, and we have to be brought up with sabr. I've had my struggles, especially with my autistic son, and it's not easy to hide away from everyone. And winter is always my biggest challenge for my mental health. Along the way, I have figured out things that help me. Nature, green spaces, just getting out there no matter what the weather. If you need encouragement, then find a walking buddy. Dhikr, and especially looking for du'as for specific circumstances, subhanAllah, it really works. People, be around people. People, we need people around us. But I have realized with age that we all have flaws, and I don't get put off so easily by different and challenging personalities. You will know who is genuinely a good person, and even if they are being selfish in some situations, we all are different, and I try to remember that I have my flaws too, so they are making allowances for me. How beautiful that is. And dealing with challenging people, I think you're so right here, because we rely on people. We cannot live in a world where we function on our own. It's just not how we are created. We are created so that we are around people. it's dealing with those personalities and the different challenges, but knowing that you are not perfect kind of makes you sort of accept that, you know, I have my flaws, they have their flaws, this is how we are designed, and then you just move on. And I think something like that comes with age. It's, you know, maturity, experience, and exposure, where you just get to a point where you think it's not worth it, you know, delving into this too much and challenging people on some of the things that they have views on or thoughts that they have. Just let it be. You know, your focus is to just be around good people that have good influence on you as well. You know, I say this to my friends, my children, that your friends will be, if you have a friend and then you're not with that friend, but a member of our family or somebody else sees your friend, and if your friend is doing something crazy, you will be kind of judged, thinking that if your friend behaves like that, there's going to be something similar in your own personality for you to click with that person. And so, you know, surround yourself with good people. That's the message there as well. Surround yourself with good people, and you know, take the time out to be with good people. I have a couple of more messages that were on my phone that I didn't get to share and type out. I have found some sort of hobby, and this is by Aisha, or personal project on the go while dealing with the daily grind is what works for me to maintain my mental well-being. I've had many over the years, like baking, bullet journaling, kickboxing, Pilates, Zumba. The list is endless, and I used to get frustrated with myself for not being able to stick with any of them for an extended period of time because of changing routines in the home. But it's actually changing of the activities that has kept my mind fresh and engaged. The buzz of doing something new and learning a new skill is a really good mental stimulation for me, especially if your daily routine is monotonous and or repetitive. It's good to mix it up. So that's really lovely, actually, Aisha. Thank you. Because yes, you know, we do sign ourselves up to all these things, and then the consistency, the uh, eagerness to do it is wearing off. So, you know, doing something else, having change is actually quite good. You know, you shouldn't be hard on yourself for not being consistent with something. So changing it is probably what's keeping your mind fresh. And obviously, you know, as we age, we need to have challenging activities. And if you keep doing something repetitive, you can get quite bored. And so it's quite good to keep changing those activities. Thank you so much, Aisha, for sharing that. My key tips for mental well-being is prioritize sleep and hydration, engage in regular physical activity, practice mindfulness and meditation, do this prayer connection to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most important, to feel calm and being grateful towards what He has blessed you with, seeking professional help when needed, building supportive relationships. Self-care is so important, which we women neglect while taking care of others. Take short wellness breaks during the day, learn something new, makes your brain feel fresh and improves your memory. Thank you again for that. Again, some really valid uh, points being raised there, and seeking professional help when needed. I think that's one of the ones that really stood out. And I think, you know, looking at our parents' generation where they just suffered in silence, we shouldn't, you know, another sister earlier on mentioned about we're growing up in a generation where we are just told to be brave and embrace things, and you know, that's not how, you know, we're women and we're being asked to break up, be raised with sabr, but actually, you know, we're allowed to have that breakdown moment and, you know, seek for help, professional help when needed, and not be afraid to do so. And there is so many support networks, groups out there now, and it's so lovely to see that these are being available as well, because we need them, you know, and they're out there for a reason, because you're not the only one feeling them. There are many women that are feeling this, so reaching out for help is not an issue at all. I have a few quick tips that I want to share with myself just before the end of the show. And I think one of them is the first one that I really wanted to start off with is saying no, learning to say no. It's, so raising the bar of perfection. Let good enough be good enough. The pursuit of perfection in parenting, home management, work leads to burnout. And we just have to really let matters go and let things be. We can't keep saying it has to be perfect. Good is good enough, and just lowering that bar. The other thing was about learning to say no and allowing yourself to not feel guilty. If something is too much, and I'm guilty of this, I know that I often say, yep, I'll do that, I'll do that. But in the last month, I realized only after I got very unwell that if I do this to myself, I'm just going to burn myself out, and it's only going to compromise my own health. So I have learned to say no, but in a nice way. If it comes to events where, let's host and you've always put your hand up, I don't want to host, but I really don't mind cooking. I'll bring the dishes, I'll bring the cutlery, I'll bring everything along, but I don't want to be the one that's running around and tidying up even when everyone's gone. So it's, allowing yourself to say that and not feel guilty, because you are still contributing. You're not just saying, I want to be waited upon, which actually is not an issue either. Do one thing just for yourself each day, and that is finding something that you really enjoy and taking that time out. For me, it was number painting. I was on a roll actually a couple of years ago. I'd started a few and really got into it. They're framed, they're up on my wall. My guests have seen them, family members have seen them, and I really feel proud that I took that time out to do something that I really enjoyed. But I've, seldom do it, and I keep saying to myself that I need to find that time to just be consistent with it. Just, start it, come back to it on a fortnightly basis, give myself a couple of hours a day, make it, freezer food day, a non-cooking day, leftover food day, where you can just switch off of, I need to think about what to cook, I need to get the food prepped, I need to get through a list of jobs that I've got to do for your work, or whatever it is that's holding you back. Take that time out to do something that you actually enjoy, and and try and do it each day, build on it, rather than coming to it in a month's time and saying, I really enjoy doing this, now I need to spend 4 hours doing it. Spend 15-20 minutes each day on it, and be consistent. And if it is something like painting, drawing, the end product, when you see it all done and complete, it's so rewarding, and you know that it's something that you took time out for yourself to do. So do it. The other one is let one thing go each day. What can you just let go? Thoughts in my head. I have so many thoughts and I think it's retrospective thoughts, like especially when you're in a situation and it's maybe a confrontational situation where someone's said something to you, and at that time you didn't speak, but you walk away, and then you have all these things that you think, I should have said this, I should have said that. It's those things that you just need to let go, because that moment won't come back. If it wasn't said at that time, if it didn't come to your head at that time, there was head in it and it was just not meant to be. It's not because you're not on the ball. It's not because you don't have wit. It's because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala willed for you not to speak in that tone, in that way, say those words. It just was not meant to be. And I think it's just letting that go and walking away and not having those retrospective conversations of, I should have said this, I should have done that, because it's no good for your mental health, it's no good for your thought process, and it's, you just need to let it go. And sleep, I think lots of women mention sleep, and I think a lot of our anxiety and illnesses stem from not having the number of hours of sleep that our body should have. So make sleep a non-negotiable priority. Make sure you are prioritizing your sleep. And I remember when I had babies, they used to say, sleep when the babies sleep. and it was an impossible task to do so because you had so many things that you wanted to do at the same time. Those babies aren't babies anymore. You can take that time out during the day. If you need to have a 15-minute power nap, allow your body to do it and have it without feeling guilty. Prioritize that. If you are feeling tired, if you are feeling sleepy, your body is telling you to rest. So listen to it. Listeners, we have now reached the end of the show, and I want to say a huge thank you to everybody that has contributed towards the show today. What a fab show it has been. The take-home message: invest in yourself and be consistent. Friday blessings to everyone. Have a lovely day. Assalamu alaikum.
Coming up next, Bazminat with Brother Mehroz. This is Inspire FM.
Inspire FM.
Hot days? Take it slow and easy. Avoid intense exercise between